Why are you shooting at us? I'm doing my job. What are you doing? I don't got to be followed. Right. That's just...
Saudi Arabia has said it regretted an airstrike on a funeral in Yemen that killed 142 mourners. However, the kingdom stopped short of admitting it carried out the attack. Saturday's carnage, one of the deadliest since the Saudi-led coalition began military operations in March 2015, brought a terse response from the US and the United Nations.
Saturday's funeral bombing was a heartless attack on civilians and an outrageous violation of international humanitarian law. Initial reports from the site indicate that this too was a coalition attack. Excuses ring hollow given the pattern of violence throughout the conflict. Parties cannot hide behind the fog of this war.
The Houthi rebel group, backed by Iran, which the Saudis are trying to remove, retaliated by firing a missile at the Taif military airbase, some 40 kilometres from the holy city of Mecca.
This is a story of not a cat with 9 lives, but 9 cats who are alive. Big fire on Wilkins Avenue at South Fulton. Nobody was hurt except 9 cats. When firefighters opened the back door, 8 cats ran out. 1 was still trapped inside, had to be rescued. No idea how this fire started. Looks like close to $150,000 in damage. Shootings in Baltimore, 2 deadly. A man was shot around 2 o'clock this afternoon on Beeler Avenue in northwest Baltimore. He later died at the hospital, and then about 2 hours later, a man was found shot to death inside a car in North Monroe. And then around 7:30 tonight, another shooting on West Fayette, and 2 more shootings around 8:30 tonight. A man was shot on North Bentlow Street, and there was a shooting on Drew Street.
It's 5 a.m. We're tracking breaking news out of Denver. That's where police are looking for a killer. Someone was shot overnight at 27th and Larimer Street. We have Daryl Orr on scene.
And Daryl, do police have any thoughts about who they're looking for?
Not at this time, they don't. They have no suspect information. About 1:30 this morning, right here at 27th and Larimer, police responded to this location for shots fired. When they got on scene, they found 2 people shot, 1 deceased, other person in critical condition. That person has been transported to a hospital, and his update on his condition right now, we understand, is severe. Now, we were just talking to a couple witnesses that were out here at about 1:30 this morning, and they believe a fight had started right here at the Cold Crush bar. Right here on the corner of 27th and Larimer. So we're trying to verify this information through Denver police this morning. As of right now, 27th is closed between Lawrence and Larimer. So if you're headed out this way, you're just going to have to kind of go around a block to avoid this area right now. The police are saying that this crime scene is going to be active for quite some time out here. And with this traffic being shut down in this area, this road here,
A family devastated after their 16-year-old was shot and killed.
Yeah, friends have confirmed to 41 Action News Hakeem Ali died overnight from his injuries. Here's a picture. It happened near Quindaro and North 7th Street just before midnight. The teen did attend Washington High School, played basketball, and even participated in ROTC.
41 Action News reporter Andres Gutierrez is live where Ali lived this afternoon. Andres, just so heartbreaking.
Absolutely, Mike. There are two memorials set to happen for Akeem Ali. One of them happening at 5:30, where balloons will be released in his honor. The other one is happening up the street in the very spot where his mother found him wounded. This afternoon, family and friends planted this vase with flowers to remember 16-year-old Akeem Ali. Jada, one of his four sisters, watched on.
We did everything together. He told me stuff that I kept a secret. I told him stuff that I kept a secret.
Police say someone shot the high school junior not far from his home near Stewart and Tremont. Ali's mother heard the gunfire.
After he was shot, he ran up the hill and as far as he could at least, and until he fell up there on the sidewalk.
He just started calling her name. So she came outside, and that's when she found him.
Ali passed away at the hospital at 1:45 this morning. Grief counselors were called to Washington High School to tell his classmates what happened.
It was really heartbreaking because I seen this person every day in class, and to know that I would never see him again is crazy.
Ali is the latest victim in what's been a deadly year for the city.
Regardless of anything that they've heard, that he was a good young man, you know. He tried to make everybody happy, tried to make everybody laugh, everybody smile.
And now a school district spokesperson tells me that grief counselors will once again be at Washington High School tomorrow. Again, the memorial at 5:30 will be happening here at Tremont and Stewart, where they'll be releasing those balloons. Reporting live in KCK, Andres Gutierrez, 41 Action News.
The post-storm skies now clear, but Hurricane Matthew is still dishing a devastating blow to North Carolina.
We have not hit the most serious point of this flood in North Carolina as of yet.
A desperate effort underway to save people stranded by the floodwaters.
Back up.
Oh my God. 1,400 rescued so far.
The rescue team got sent. I am grateful.
After the storm's heavy, fast-falling rain left rivers overflowing their banks, adding to already overwhelming damage.
This is the worst that we've seen.
And more deaths. In the U.S., Matthews claimed more than 20 lives. Several other people are still missing. While in hardest-hit Haiti, the death toll estimates now top 900. Meanwhile, back in Florida, the McMullen family is cleaning up. The severity of the storm's impact elsewhere, bringing them perspective.
We feel really lucky and blessed.
And a lesson in loss.
What's the lesson? All the stuff can be replaced, right? We can't be replaced.
The kids are also getting a lesson in hard work. They've been out here all day dealing with this damage. There are also some of the more than 1 million people from here to the Carolinas still without electricity. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, St. Augustine.
And two teenage boys hop into a backyard and end up shot, one of them killed. The man accused of shooting them says they broke into his backyard where he'd been growing marijuana. And tonight, Liz Gilardi is live near Race and 46th asking when it's okay to shoot. Liz?
And we found out there's a big difference when someone is on your property but not inside your home. And that's why tonight the man who lived in this home is behind bars. In this backyard, two teens shot, one already dead when his friend called for help.
So we heard some shots the night of the event. That's really it. And then obviously all of the police action.
48-year-old Keith Hammock arrested, accused of murder. Police say he lived in this house. He told them his motion detector light went on. He heard arguing, then saw two people on the ground. Criminal defense attorney Terry O'Malley explains.
You just don't have the option of deadly force when somebody's outside your home.
15-year-old Keelan Mosley dead. The 14-year-old may be paralyzed. We know police found several large marijuana plants growing in the backyard and a black semi-automatic handgun on the ground. Police found several guns in the house, including one in a second-floor bedroom overlooking the backyard.
It's obviously disturbing. It's very sad.
Court documents also show a .22 caliber firearm in the home, possibly the same size bullet found in the 15-year-old's chest. ShotSpotter technology detected at least 3 shots fired in the area.
But I can't go shooting in the dark at somebody for being on my real property. That only happens, and there's a big change when somebody comes inside your home.
And neighbors we talked to who knew the suspect are pretty surprised. They say he seemed like a laid-back guy, but court documents show as police questioned him during the course of this investigation. He became very surprised when they said it was a homicide investigation and would not answer any further questions without an attorney. Reporting live, Liz Gilardi, Denver.
Breaking news, Tulsa police investigating a deadly shooting near 11th and Sheridan in Tulsa. 2 Works 2 reporter Brian Miller is at the scene with what happened. Brian?
Yeah, still a very active scene here, and homicide detectives are not releasing very much information. Take a look, though. They are just wrapping up the investigation. There are cones there where the victim was shot in that driveway there right behind me. Now, we're hoping to learn more here on the scene as the investigation unfolds. What we do know is a man was outside a home here in a driveway just before 2 o'clock. Police say some sort of argument began between 2 black males. The suspect shot the victim. He later died after being transported. Now, police won't tell us how many shots were fired. Witnesses out here tell me they heard at least 3 or 4 gunshots. They initially thought it sounded like fireworks.
We're trying to get officers to go through both sides of South 73rd East Avenue between 11th and 15th Street, canvass the condos, the duplexes, and the apartments that are in the area to see if anybody saw or heard anything.
And just minutes ago, police did drop off a witness who was taken downtown for questioning. People here are still very reluctant to talk with us on camera. We did speak to several off camera. And coming up, we will hear from a woman about her concerns with this happening so close to her home with 6 children. We're also hoping to learn more on scene here from police as this investigation unfolds. For now, reporting live in Tulsa, Brian Miller, 2 Works.
This is AP News Minute. Donald Trump warned supporters in Pennsylvania that they have to guard against having the election stolen. The Republican presidential nominee also repeated his claim that the system is rigged. Repeated studies, however, have found no evidence of widespread voter fraud across the nation. A federal judge extended Florida's voter registration by 1 day. Democrats argued for the extension so that 1.5 million people who were told to evacuate from Hurricane Matthew will still have time to sign up. The United Nations is appealing for emergency hurricane relief after Hurricane Matthew. The hurricane killed hundreds in Haiti and left millions needing assistance. Officials in North Carolina now blame Hurricane Matthew for 11 deaths in that state. And President Obama has signed a disaster declaration for 10 North Carolina counties. Ross Simpson, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
One person has died. 3 people are still recovering after being shot, and police say they still don't have any suspects. I want to show you the scene from early Sunday morning when this all happened. This is in the same shopping center as Party City and Chuck E. Cheese's. Police say that the calls for help came in shortly after the Latin nightclub closed around 2 a.m. and officers responded to this parking lot where 4 were found shot. Today in the same strip mall, Elisa Espino was shopping with her kids and says she had doubts about coming here.
Have you been to this club before?
Yeah, once, and I'm afraid to come again because out of nowhere, a shooting out of nowhere is I don't know. I'm scared.
And at the time of the shooting, Espino also told me that her nephew was with one of the victims who later died of his injuries. That victim was 28-year-old Cesar Luna. And at this time, it's still unclear if the victims were inside the club at the time before the violence broke out in the parking lot. If you have any more information about this crime, you're asked to contact police.
It is very likely we'll see major changes at Tucson's Reed Park Zoo before this year is over.
Plans are nearly finalized for the multi-million-dollar expansion project that most visitors won't even see when it's done. But zoo officials say they'll see a big difference in the animals when construction is finished.
Okay, so right now we're headed into really the nuts and bolts of where I'm at anytime I'm working on an animal. And as you can see right now, we have a lot of state-of-the-art equipment. We just need a facility to put it in.
This is a trip to the zoo most people will never get. Veterinarian Alexis Moreno shows us the area where she and her team care for the zoo's entire collection. 3 rooms, 3,000 square feet total.
I just did surgery on an ostrich last week, and you can imagine what that was like in that room.
The pharmacy holds blood testing equipment and cages. The X-ray machine is in the OR, and Moreno's interns are stacked on top of each other in this conference room.
Offices will be part of our expansion as well.
But help is coming. Since 2012, Nancy Schlegel and the Reed Park Zoological Society have raised millions to expand this animal care center by 7,000 feet as the zoo works to bring in more animals like hippopotami to Tucson.
But we can't do that without the infrastructure behind that for the care of the animals. And this is a key to us being able to continue to grow the zoo.
The new facility will include exam rooms, a pharmacy, and an operating theater so veterinary students can observe surgeries.
It's about taking great care of your animals, and if you take great care of your animals, you can't but help take great care of your guests at the same time.
The expansion will also include multiple quarantine areas.
This is our only quarantine facility, and we really don't have an area, a good area. If I had to bring an animal in that was sick and I needed to manage them in the hospital and keep that animal separate from the quarantine, that's very difficult to do right now.
Moreno says the newer, bigger facility will allow her and her team to take better care of the animals here. They say that leads to a better experience for visitors.
So we get it done, and we get it done well, but we're really excited to get it done better.
So the Zoological Society says the plans are about 99% complete, and it still needs to raise a little less than $1 million, but they expect to begin construction by the end of this year or sometime in early 2017.
And like they said, it's very true. You need to keep those animals healthy, and then people will keep coming in to visit those animals.
Healthy animals are happy animals.
Exactly.
Days after a deadly home invasion, a Franklin County community is still mourning, but 2 suspects are in custody tonight. 22 News reporter Alessandra Martinez is back from Orange and joins us live after speaking with neighbors to see if these arrests bring any relief.
And they do. Many neighbors tonight told me that they didn't want to go on camera, but they all say the same thing. They're glad that it's finally over and that justice can now be served. 5 days after a deadly home invasion in Orange, Tina Streeter says she's relieved the suspects are in handcuffs.
It was nice to see they caught the people, and you know, they have them under arrest so that we don't have to worry that they're around in the area.
These are the suspects' faces. 23-year-old Joshua Hart and 27-year-old Brittany Smith of Athol. They were found Saturday in Lexington, Virginia, inside of a U-Haul parked outside of a Walmart. This after they allegedly stole the victim's car and used it to get out of the state. The 2 suspects allegedly killed 95-year-old Thomas Hardy and seriously hurt his wife, 77-year-old Joanna Fisher, who 5 days after the home invasion is still recovering at UMass Medical Center in Worcester. Hart and Smith are being held without bail in Virginia. They'll be brought back to Massachusetts and charged with murder, attempted murder, robbery, larceny, and conspiracy.
To us, it seemed like it might have been a random act, and it could happen to anybody. So that's the scary part about it, is it could happen to anybody.
The murder was one of many crimes the 2 allegedly committed last week. According to the Greenfield Recorder, Hart and Smith were arrested 2 days before the murder, but wouldn't specify why. 22 News also found out that they are also suspects in a robbery at a Virginia mall the day after the elderly couple was found in Orange. Hart and Smith are scheduled to be arraigned on Tuesday, and the earliest they'll be back in Massachusetts could be on Thursday. Alessandra Martinez, 22 News.